So in the last lecture, we studied about the differentiator circuit. Now today we are going to start one new topic of unit number 2, that is integrator. So in general, the integrator is the inverse of the differentiator. So in case of the differentiator circuit, the value of output was the differentiation of the input signal. But in case of the integrator, the output is the integration of the input signal. And in general, the expression for the output in case of the integrator circuit is, it can be written as V naught is equal to, in case of inverting amplifier, 1 by RC integration from 0 to T V in into dt. So this is the value of output voltage in case of the integrator. So you can see over here the value of output voltage is directly proportional to the integration of the input signal, where RC is the time constant, where R is the input resistance R1 and C is the feedback capacitor. Why? Because this is the actual circuit of the integrator. This is the circuit diagram of the integrator where feedback is connected through the capacitor, which is represented as CF. So CF is the feedback element in case of the integrator, as per the inverse of the differentiator where capacitor was connected at the input terminal of the op-amp. But here in case of the integrator, the capacitor will be connected at the feedback terminal. So this is our today's topic. So today we will discuss about the integrator, general definition of the integrator, how to design the integrator circuit, what are the different components, what are the different elements which are to be connected at the circuit diagram of the integrator. Then first we will start with the ideal integrator circuit. Then we will derive the expression for the ideal integrator circuit, then conclude what is the actual, what is the meaning of that output voltage of the integrator. If there is any kind of the problem, then on that condition we will try to rectify that particular problem in ideal integrator. So there is some kind of the problem with ideal integrator. So after the completion of the ideal integrator circuit, we will switch to the practical integrator circuit. So practical integrator will be something different than the ideal integrator. Some more components should be connected over there for rectifying the problem into the ideal integrator circuit. So this is the overall idea which we are going to discuss today. And at last, we will solve one or two numericals related to the integrator circuit. So starting with the ideal integrator. So this is the circuit diagram of the ideal integrator circuit. Here Vn is the input voltage. So input voltage can be of the step signal or the square wave or the rectangular wave, triangular wave or sinusoidal wave, any kind of the input voltage you can apply over it. Based on that, you can generate the output signal. So Vn is the input signal which is connected at the inverting terminal of the op-amp. And as we know, whenever the signal would be connected at the inverting terminal, there would be the phase shift of 180 degree in between input and output. So here we will also see that whether there is a phase shift of 180 degree in between input and output voltages adjust or not. So R1 is the input resistance to the circuit, CF is the feedback element, and R1 is compensation resistance. This is called as compensation resistance, where the value of this R, actually it is RCOMP, it can be denoted as RCOMP, compensation resistance, and the value of that compensation resistance is somewhat equal to the value of R1, input resistance. So these are three components, actually the four components including the operational amplifier. So let us derive the expression for the output in case of this ideal integrator. So Vx is the negative terminal voltage to the operational amplifier. Vy is the positive terminal voltage or the non-inverting terminal voltage of this operational amplifier. And you can see over here Vy or the Y terminal of the op-amp is connected to ground. So due to that, Vy is equal to 0. Vy is equal to 0, and due to virtual ground, Vx will also be equal to 0. Due to that virtual ground concept, the value of Vx will also be equal to 0. So now let us assume that the value of input current is I, the value of that feedback current is If, and here the value of current is II. Here the value of current is II. So as per the KCL, when we apply the KCL at node X, so on that condition, I will be how much? I is equal to II plus IF, II plus IF. And as we know, the value of input resistance of op amp is infinite. That's why this II is equal to 0. When II is equal to 0, I is equal to IF. So whatever will be the current at the input terminal of the integrator circuit, same current will flow at the feedback terminal. So what is the value of this I? I is equal to V in minus Vx divided by R1. V in minus Vx divided by R1. And as Vx is equal to Vy and Vy is connected to ground, so Vx will also be connected to ground due to virtually ground concept. So Vx is equal to 0. So from there, I is equal to V in divided by R1. So that is the value of current I. Now current IF, which is we have denoted here same current IY because both the currents are same. So current across the capacitance will be C dV by dt. That is the value of current across the capacitor. C dV divided by dt, where V is the difference in voltage at the different terminals of the capacitor. So here at one of the terminal or at the left terminal, the value of voltage is Vx. At the right hand side, the value of voltage is V output. So the value will be Cf into dVx minus V naught divided by dt. And as we know, Vx is equal to 0. So from there, I will be equal to Cf dV output divided by dt. So these are the values of the current. Now equating both the currents over here, equating both the currents. So from there, V in divided by R1 is equal to minus of Cf dV output divided by dt. And after some simplification, the value of output will be how much? So this is the value of output. So output of the integrator circuit will be V output is equal to minus 1 by R1 Cf integration from 0 to t V in into dt. Here you can also include here V0 integration constant. So in general, at the initial condition, the value of V0 will be equal to 0. So the value of output will be how much? 1 minus 1 by R 1 Cf integration 0 to t V in into dt. So that is the final value of output of ideal integrator circuit. So what is the meaning of that output? Okay. So here R and C, this is called as the time constant of the circuit. This is what? This is the time constant of the circuit. V in is the input voltage, and you can see over here we are getting the negative side, as we have already seen that the input terminal or the input supply voltage was connected at the inverting terminal of the op amp. So as per our assumption, output should be, there is a phase shift of 180 degree in between input and output, and same thing we are getting over here. So 180 degree phase shift we are getting in case of input and output. What is the advantage of this equation? So the main advantage of this active integrator circuit is large time constant. So here the value of time constant is very large. And what is the meaning of that? If the value of that time constant will be high, then on that condition, accurate integration of the input signal. So we will get the accurate integration at the input signal. Why? Because as we know, if the value of that slot is less, if we want to integrate that particular signal, so in general, in case of the integrator, we will divide into several sub-categories, and if the value of the distance in between the several division is very less, on that condition, the integration would be accurate. So same thing we are getting here. So the value of time constant is how much? Time constant is very high in case of the integrator circuit. So this is in general output expression of the ideal integrator. So let us see different waveform, or which kind of the waveform can be generated with the help of this integrator. So as I told you, any kind of the waveform you can apply at the input terminal of the operational amplifier, and based on that input signal, you can generate, or the system will generate the different output. So let us assume that the first signal which we are going to analyze here is the step signal. So what is the mathematical expression for the step signal? So in case of step signal, the value of input signal amplitude is A. So when the value of t is greater than or equal to 0, on that condition the amplitude of the input signal is A, and when the value of t is less than 0, when t is less than 0, on that condition amplitude is equal to 0. So this is the mathematical expression of step signal. What is the output voltage of the integrator when we are applying this signal at the input terminal of op amp? So output of integrator is what? Minus 1 by R1 into CF integration from 0 to T Vn into dt. This is the expression for the output of the integrator as we have seen already. Yeah? Where R1 and CF is what? Time constant. So here we are assuming that the value of this time constant is equal to 1. So the time constant is equal to 1. So on that condition, what is the value of output? So output is equal to minus 0, minus of integration 0 to t, Vn into dt. What is the value of Vn? Vn is equal to A. So integration of that will be equal to minus of A into t. What is the value of output when we are applying the step signal? So V naught of t is equal to minus of A into t. What is the meaning of that? So t is time period. T is time period and A is the amplitude of signal. So let us assume that the amplitude of the signal is how much? 2 volt. Suppose the amplitude of the signal is 2 volt and the value of time is 10 millisecond. And the value of that time period is 10 millisecond. Then what will be the value of output? So output will be how much? V naught is equal to minus of 2 multiplied by 10. Minus of 2 multiplied by 10. That will be equal to how much? 20 millivolt. So that is the value of output. So that much of the output can be generated. Suppose the value of time period is in second. So how much will be the value of output? Output will be minus of 20 volt. So one question will be there in your mind. In case of the operational amplifier, suppose the value of supply voltage is plus minus 15 volt. Assume that the value of supply voltage is how much? Plus minus 15 volt. And from this particular expression, what is the value of output? Output is minus 20 volt. So as you think, after the minus 15 volt, the signal should be how much? Clipped off. After minus 15 volt, as per the saturation limit of the operational amplifier, the signal should be clipped off. So as per your assumption, the output will be how much? V naught is equal to minus 15 volt. But what is this minus 20? This minus 20 is peak to peak voltage of that circuit. So actually, in negative side, how much you are getting? Minus 10 volt. And in positive side also you are getting plus 10 volt. So total voltage is T. So don't confuse with that. How much? So actual output voltage is minus 20 volt, where plus 20 is for positive half cycle, minus 20 is for negative half cycle. This is not the case in case of this step signal. Why? Because in step signal, the signal is continuously increasing in one of the direction. But suppose the signal is of square wave. In case of the square wave, whenever there is a change of the waveform, after plus 10 volt, it will automatically switch back towards in positive direction. So one time the signal up to minus 10, it will move here, and after that it will move in upward direction, then into downward direction, then upward direction. So total change would be how much? Minus 20. So peak to peak is that much. I think that would be clear to all of you. So this is the basic procedure for the calculation of the output in case of the integrator. Just simply you need to substitute the values and calculate the value of output. Now second signal is a square wave. In case of the square wave, in between 0 to t by 2, what is the value of amplitude? Amplitude is A. So in between 0 to t by 2, the value of amplitude is A. In between t by 2 to t, in between t by 2 to t, well, what is the value of amplitude? Amplitude is minus A. What is the value of output? So output is minus integration from 0 to t, Vn into dt, in general expression of the ideal integrator circuit. So in positive half side, when the value of amplitude is plus A, what will be the value of output? Output will be minus 80. Why? Because there is a phase shift of 180 degree. I hope that would be clear now. Already we have discussed in case of the step signal. So the integration of that step is ramp signal. So minus of A into T, and when the signal is plus 80, on that condition, due to 180 degree phase shift, the output will be plus 80. So in between 0 to t by 2, in between 0 to t by 2, for positive signal, output is negative. So it is moving towards in negative direction. Up to how much value? Up to minus A by 2 into t. I told you that now. This is the total output voltage. Minus A is total output voltage for half in one direction, another half in another direction. So here the value of slope is minus of A. It will move up to minus A by 2 into T. Again, after that, when the signal is minus A, it will move towards in positive direction. So which kind of the output we are generating? So when the signal is a square wave, on that condition, triangular wave would be generated. In case of the square wave, generated output will be triangular wave. When the signal is a sine wave, so let us assume that the mathematical expression for the sine wave is Vm sine omega t, where Vm is the peak amplitude, or the one side of the positive amplitude of the signal is Vm. Omega is the angular frequency, where omega is equal to 2 pi f. So what is the value of output? Output is minus integration 0 to t Vn into dt. Vn is what? Vn is Vm sine omega t. So integration of that minus of Vm 1 by omega minus cos omega t. So here minus and minus, that would be plus. That's why for a sinusoidal signal, we are getting the cosine wave. But there is no any phase shift. Why? Because this minus and minus is cancelled out. So this is the actual position from where actually the cosine wave is starting into the waveform. So V naught is minus Vm by omega minus cos omega t, where this Vm by omega is what? Vm by omega is amplitude. Vm by omega is peak amplitude. This is minus, it's plus. So in positive direction, the signal is starting with plus Vm by omega, and it will move in downward direction up to minus Vm by omega. So that represents the peak amplitude of the signal. So in case of the sinusoidal waveform, with the help of integrator, we will get the cosine waveform. So this is a table which represents different kinds of the input, and based on that, which kind of the output will be generated. So if the signal is a step signal, so for a step, we are getting the ramp signal. Integration of a step is ramp. For a signal of a square wave, we will get the triangular wave at the output. And for a sinusoidal waveform, we will get the cosine wave at the output. So no need to remember this thing. Simply integrate whatever signal you have. So if you will integrate that particular signal, with the help of that, easily you can generate the output voltage of the integrator, or output waveform of the integrator. So simple. So these are some examples for the different kinds of the input and output waveform which can be generated with the help of integrator circuit. I hope that would be clear to all of you. Now let us discuss the frequency response. Why? Because only with the help of that frequency response we will get some idea whether there is any kind of the problem with the circuit or not. So now we are at a stage to analyze the circuit for getting some response with the help of the circuit. So frequency response of the ideal integrator. So this is the expression for the output of the ideal integrator. Now assume that the value of initial voltage is equal to 0. Now for the frequency response, we want the value of frequency. That's why we are replacing, or we are moving from time domain to frequency domain. So for that purpose, we are using the Laplace transform. So as per the Laplace transform, replacing T by S. So V naught of S, that is equal to minus 1 by S R1 of C. Why? Because the integration, transformation of the integration is 1 by S. So that will be equal to minus 1 by S R1 into CF, V in into, not T, it's S. It's actually S. So V in of S. Now from there, replacing S by j omega. So by this, V naught of j omega is equal to minus 1 by j omega R1 into CF, V in of j omega. Now calculate the value of gain or the transfer function. So transfer function is nothing but the ratio of output voltage divided by input voltage. Why? Because generally the frequency response will be the plot in between transfer function or the gain in between frequency. So in x-axis we are getting the frequency, in y-axis we need to put the gain of the circuit. So we are calculating here the value of gain in terms of frequency. So V naught of j omega divided by V in of j omega is equal to minus 1 by j omega R1 into CF, or A is equal to minus, taking the mod minus 1 by j omega R1 into Cf, replacing omega by 2 pi f. So A is equal to 1 by omega R1 Cf, or 1 divided by 2 pi f R1 into Cf. Now we want to calculate the magnitude. So now take the magnitude response of that. So for what we do is square and under root. So by which we calculate the magnitude of any expression. So what is the value of A? 1 by 2 pi f R1 into Cf. Or first discuss this one. So what is the meaning of that gain? What is the meaning of that? So you can see over here, when the value of this f is equal to 0, when the value of frequency is equal to 0, that means we are actually here. And the value of frequency is equal to 0. On that condition, what is the value of gain? The value of gain is maximum. Value of gain is maximum. Let's suppose that is over. So for initial frequency, what is the value of gain is maximum. And as we are increasing the value of f, the value of gain continuously decreases. The value of gain is decreasing continuously. That means what is the meaning of it? Here we are getting the finite value of the output. Here we are getting the finite value of the output. That's why the system is what? System is stable. System is stable. But in case of the differentiator, as we were increasing the value of frequency, the value of gain was what? The gain was gradually increasing. So that on that condition, the system was unstable. But here, what is the value of system? System is stable. And when the value of f is equal to fb, when the value of f, the value of that frequency is fb, on that condition, it crosses the 0 dB line. It crosses the 0 dB line. When the value of f is equal to fb, on that condition, it will crosses the 0 dB line. So what will be the value of that frequency? So this is the calculation for the fb. So let f at f is equal to fb, it crosses the 0 dB line. So 20 log to the base 10. Why? Because it's in dB. That's why we are also converting it into dB form. So 20 log A, that is equal to 20 log 1 by 2 pi f is replaced by fb. No? So 1 by 2 pi fb R1 into Cf. From there, this is the final value of fb. 1 by 2 pi fb R1 Cf is equal to 1. Or from there, fb equal to 1 by 2 pi R1 into Cf. So that is the value of this. So at this particular frequency, the response of the system will cross the 0 dB line. Will cross the 0 dB line. So with the help of that, we can easily calculate the value of that frequency at which the value of gain will process the 0 dB line. Now let us discuss what are the drawbacks of the ideal integrators. What are the drawbacks of ideal integrators? What is the advantage of this? Advantage is that we get the true integration. At the starting we have discussed that. In case of the ideal integrator, active integrator circuit, we are getting the true integration. And second thing is there is more stability as compared to the differentiator circuit. But what is the problem? So problem is related to the internal offset voltage and bias current of the circuit. These are the responsible component for the drawback of the integrator circuit. First thing is that if suppose the value of input voltage is 0, we are not supplying any kind of the input to the op-amp. But as some offset voltage is present into the operational amplifier, and as we know, as we have already discussed that in case of the integrator, the value of gain is very high. At initial frequency also, when the value of f is equal to 0, the value of gain is how much? Gain is maximum, na? Here, when the value of frequency is that 0, we are getting the value of gain is equal to maximum. So, if some input offset voltage is present into the circuit and value of input voltage is 0, on that condition also we are getting the output. And that output voltage is nothing but the error voltage. So due to that input offset voltage, which is being amplified by the operational amplifier, that appears at the output terminal as an error voltage. And that error voltage, either that would be positive or the negative. And due to higher value of that, it can be positive saturation voltage or the negative saturation voltage. That means we will not be able to work in linear regime. What is the meaning of that? Due to that, either we will shift it as the positive saturation limit or the negative saturation limit. So this is the problem with the help of ideal integrator circuit. So due to that, it is not possible to get a true integration of the input signal at the output. So due to that problem, due to that input offset voltage, input bias current, and higher value of gain of the ideal integrator circuit, we are not being able to get the true integration at the output terminal. So due to that, what? We are getting distorted signal at the error, as an error voltage at the output terminal of op-amp. So this is the first problem. First problem is what? Higher value of gain, or the constant value of the gain. Second thing is that as we are increasing the value of frequency, the value of gain is gradually decreasing. As we will increase the value of frequency, the value of gain is gradually decreasing. As we are increasing the value of frequency, there is a linear decrement in the value of gain. Due to that, the value of bandwidth is very less. The second limitation is bandwidth. And if the value of bandwidth is very less, the application area of that particular circuit will be minimized. This is the problem with bandwidth. So it is basically used for very small frequency range. So ideal integrator circuit is having two problems. One problem is related to input offset voltage and bias current. Due to that, we are getting the error voltage at the output terminal of the integrator. And what is the effect of that? We will not get the true integration of the input signal at the output. Actually, we are getting some distorted signal. And the second thing is the limitation in bandwidth. So due to that bandwidth limitation, it can be used only for very small frequency range. So now we need to rectify these problems. So for rectifying these problems, we are moving further to the practical integration. We changed here some component, we have added here some component and try to rectify the problem of bandwidth and error voltage generated at the. So this is the circuit diagram of the practical integrator circuit. What is the change in the practical integrator circuit? So there is only one change in the practical integrator circuit. So that is feedback resistance. Why we are inserting here the feedback resistance? Because the problem with the practical ideal integrator was the gain. So we need to reduce the value of that gain. So how can we reduce the value of gain? By supplying some negative feedback. That's why we are added here one feedback element as a resistor in integrator. So one feedback element is connected, RF at the over here. Now just analyze this circuit and let us discuss what would be the output of this one. So here the value of current is I. I is distributed in two components, I1 and I2. II is equal to 0. So I is equal to I1 plus I2. What is I? I is equal to V in minus VA divided by R1. I is equal to V in minus VA divided by R1. But due to virtual ground concept, VA is connected to VB and VB is connected to ground. So VB is equal to 0. So indirectly VA will also be equal to 0. So when VA is equal to 0, I will be equal to V in by R1. Similarly, what is I1? I1 is equal to C VA minus V0. What is the difference in the value of voltage across the capacitor? VA minus V0. So CF D VA minus V0 divided by dt. Again, due to virtual ground concept, VA is equal to 0. So output the value of I1 will be minus of CF D V0 divided by dt. Similarly, what is the value of I2? I2 is VA minus V0 divided by RF, and as VA is equal to 0, so output will be equal to minus of V0 divided by RF. Now substitute these three current here in KCL equation. So I is equal to I1 plus I2. Substitute all that. So this is the value of equation number 5. Now for analyzing this equation, now take the Laplace transform of that. So V in of S divided by R1 is equal to Laplace transform of differentiation is minus of S, sorry, S only. Due to this minus of S, C of V naught of S minus V naught of S divided by R. You can simply calculate all this. No? So after some simplification, what is the value of output? So one important equation is this equation number 7. So after simplification, what is the value of output? Output is equal to minus RF divided by R1, 1 plus S C of RF V in into V in of S, or it can be written as like this. So here, if we replace S by j omega, or second thing is, what is the value of RF, or what is the relationship in between RF and R1? So in general, feedback resistance is 10 times of the input resistance. Feedback resistance is what? 10 times to 100 times of the input resistance. So from there, what would be the change in equation number 8? The feedback resistance is higher as compared to input resistance. That means SR1 into CF, that will be much greater than the value of R1 divided by RF. So we may neglect the value of R1 divided by RF from equation number 8. So what would be the change in equation number 8? V naught of S is equal to minus 1 by S R1 into CF multiplied by V naught of S. When we convert it into the time domain, so V naught of T is equal to minus 1 by R1 CF integration from 0 to T V into dt. So this equation number 10 is same as the expression for ideal integrator. That means when we change the circuit component, there would not be change in the value of output when we are replacing this R1 and RF. So which parameter only makes the changes over here? This R1 and RF. So this is a crucial parameter for changing the value of gain. So how it affects the output? So for that we need to move further to the frequency response of this practical integrator. So now let us discuss the frequency response of this practical integrator. So as per this equation number 7, this equation number 7. So minus RF by R1, now let us discuss over here. So V naught divided by Vn is equal to minus RF by R1, 1 plus S C of R1. This is equation number 7. We are taking directly that equation from there to here. So V naught of S divided by V in of S is equal to minus RF by R1, 1 plus S CF into RF, replacing S by j omega, minus RF by R1, 1 plus j omega CF into RF. Or it can be written as A is equal to minus RF by R1, 1 plus j 2 pi F CF into RF. This equation can also be written as like equation number 13, where we are replacing this 2 pi and CF RF in terms of another frequency component, which is represented here as FA. That frequency is FA. So what is the value of this FA? FA is equal to 1 by 2 pi CF into RF. And when we are replacing this over here, when we replace this term over here, the final equation will be how much? Value of gain is RF by R1, 1 plus J F by FA. So that is the value of gain of the practical integrator circuit. This is the value of gain of practical integrator circuit. So initially when this term is equal to 0, the frequency is minimum. On that condition, if this term is equal to 0, what is the value of gain? Gain is equal to RF by R1. So for minimum frequency, what is the value of gain? Gain is equal to, only depends on the value of this RF and R1. Both are constant term. So the value of gain will also be constant. The gain does not depend on the value of frequency initially. Now, when the value of F is less than FA, when the value of this frequency F is less than FA, discuss. On that condition, also the value of gain is constant. Why? Because if the value of FA is greater than F, if the value of this frequency F is less than FA, so this term will be less. The value of this term will be less as compared to 1. So what would be the change in the value of A? A will entirely depends on the value of RF and R1. So up to the frequency of FA, the value of gain is how much? Gain is constant. The value of gain is constant. But when F is equal to FA, second thing is when the value of F is equal to FA, on that condition, what will be the value of output? See here. For that, after this magnitude response, let's see. When the value of F is equal to FA, when the value of F is equal to FA, on that condition, what is the value of gain? Gain is equal to RF by R1 under root 2, which is equal to 0.707. So now replace in terms of the dB. Why? Because we are working with dB parameter only. Na? So 20 log to the base 10 mod A is equal to 20 log 0.7 multiplied by RF by R1. It can be written as 20 log 0.707 plus 20 log RF by R1, or 20 log 0.707 is equal to minus 3 dB, plus gain of this is DC gain. Why? Because both the components are constant. So how much change in the value of output? So when the value of frequency F is equal to FA, on that condition, the value of gain is reduced by 3 dB. So here, the value of gain is reduced by how much? 3 dB. So what is the value of bandwidth? Bandwidth is FA. So this is what is the value of bandwidth? Bandwidth is FA. FA is the bandwidth of this integrator. FA is what? FA is the bandwidth of the integrator, and as the value of FA will be increasing, the value of bandwidth will also be increasing. As the value of FA increases, the value of bandwidth will also be increases. But before that FA, we are not getting the integration of this. Here the value of output is what? Constant. Na? So here actually we are not able to get the integration of the signal. So this is the reason where we are not getting the integration. So where actually we are getting the integration? After FA and up to the frequency FB, actually we are getting the integration. So this is the range where we are getting the integration of the signal. So if there is a question that where actually we are getting the integration of the signal in case of the integrator, so at higher frequency range only we are getting the true integration of the signal in case of integrator. But for the lower frequency range or the frequency below FA, we are not getting the true integration. Why? Because here the value of gain is constant. Why constant? The gain only depends on the value of RF and R1. It does not depend on the frequency. So this is the simplification, or this is the conclusion of this output. So in case of practical integrator, what is the value of bandwidth? So bandwidth of practical integrator is FA. And for proper integration, for the actual integration, what is the condition? The value of T should be greater than or equal to RF into CF. Only on that condition we will get the true integration of the signal, where T is what? Inverse of the frequency. T is what? The inverse of the frequency, where F is 1 by 2 pi RF into CF. So that's why it is also called as the lossy integrator. That's why practical integrator is also called as the lossy integrator. Why lossy integrator? Because it only behaves as an integrator at upper frequency range. It behaves as an integrator only over the upper frequency range. That means at the frequency above FA. That's why it is also called as the lossy integrator. There is no any kind of the losses into the circuit. Not the meaning of lossy integrator is that there is not any kind of the loss generated into the circuit, but it behaves as an integrator only at the upper frequency range. That's why it is called as lossy integrator. Don't confuse with the naming of this lossy integrator. Lossy, that means it only behaves as an integrator at the upper frequency range. From the application area, so the practical integrators are mostly used in case of the analog computers. Why analog computers? Because signal to noise ratio of the integrator is very high as compared to the differentiator. One question is very important related to integrator and differentiator. Why? Differentiator. What is the question of that? Why mostly for the design of the analog computer we are not using the differentiator, or why we are preferring the integrator in place of the differentiator for the design of analog computer? So the reason is high signal to noise ratio. So integrator have higher signal to noise ratio as compared to the differentiator. We use it in analog computer or for the design of the analog computers. So in solving differential equation, in analog to digital converters, in wave shaping circuits, and in ramp generators. So already we have discussed this wave shaping and ramp generator. These are nothing but the waveform generated with the help of the integrator circuit. So for any kind of this input signal, we can generate the different kinds of the waveform. That is nothing but the shaping of the signal. So by changing the value of time period, we can shape the signal. Also, we can use it in analog to digital converter. So these are some application area where actually we can use the practical integrator circuits. Now moving further to question related to integrators. So in question number 1, we need to find the value of resistance R1 and RF in the practical integrator. What is given? So that the peak gain is 20 dB. So at the output, what we want that the peak gain should be 20 dB and the gain is 3 dB down from its peak when omega is equal to 1000 radians per second. We are getting actually this question and initially for the design practical integrator circuit, what is the value of gain? Peak gain? Peak gain is 20 dB. But that gain is down by 3 dB. That gain is down by 3 dB from 20 to 17. When the value of frequency is 1000 radians per second. That means this is the value of what? This is the value of FA. Why? Because at F is equal to FA only, there is a down in the value of gain. Already we have discussed over here. When F is equal to FA, when F is equal to FA, there is a down of 3 dB into the gain. So at F is equal to FA, or when the value of frequency is 1000 radians per second, gain is down by 3 dB. We need to use capacitance of 0.01 microfarad. So this is the solution. So this is the equation for gain. Gain is equal to RF by R1 under root 1 plus. This is the magnitude now. That's why negative sign is not there. Why? Because it's a magnitude of the integrator circuit. So A is equal to RF by R1 integration 1 plus omega C of RF. So when the value of omega is equal to 0, already we have discussed that when the value of frequency is equal to 0, only on that condition we will get the maximum gain. When omega is equal to 0, this term will be 0. So under root of 1 is equal to 1. So A is equal to RF by R1. A is what? A is equal to RF by R1 when omega is equal to 0 initially. When we are talking about if this is the plot, so here A is equal to RF by R1. So the value of gain in dB converted. Why? Because all the calculations are in dB only. Parameters are given in dB. So we need to convert that into dB. So 20 log to the base 10 RF by R1. So what is RF by R1? RF by R1 is equal to 10. So from there, after the calculation, what is the value of RF by R1 is equal to 10. Now second condition is when omega is equal to 1000 radian per second, gain is down by 3 dB. So 20 log to the base 10 RF by R1 under root this one is equal to now 17 dB. At the starting, what was the value of gain? Gain was 20 dB. Now, when the value of omega, how we are bifurcating this, you are getting now. Initially, that means when the value of omega is equal to 0. So first, we use this equation when omega is equal to 0, and when omega is equal to 0, the value of gain is 20 dB. Second, again we are using the same equation. Again we are using the same equation, but here the value of omega is what? Omega is 10,000 radians per second. On that condition, what is the value of gain? Gain is 3 dB down from its peak. That means 20 minus 3, that is equal to 17 dB. For this purpose, the value of C is given as 0.01 microfarad. Substitute this one, Rf by R1 already we have calculated here is equal to 10. Substitute all these values. So from there, the value is 0.85. After solving this, Rf is 10 kilo ohm. If we assume the value of, and from there, R1 is equal to 1 kilo. So now design the circuit and substitute all the values. I think that would be clear to all of you. Use only this equation and substitute all the values one by one, depending on the value of frequency. Now, let us discuss one more problem. So, here we design a practical integrator circuit with a DC gain of 10. Again, DC gain, that means omega is equal to 0. And when omega is equal to 0, A will be what? A will be equal to Rf by R1. In case of practical integrator, DC case, that means Rf by R1 only. So for this question, we need to design a practical integrator circuit to integrate a square wave of 10 kilohertz. So that is the value of f is equal to 10 kilohertz. So for proper integration, the value of f should be greater than or equal to 10 FA. So f by FA is equal to 10. So from a, FA is equal to 1000 kilohertz. So now substitute the value in FA. FA is equal to what? 1 by 2 pi RFCF. Already we have calculated here f is equal to 1000. So 1000 is equal to this one. Now we need to assume any one parameter. Why? Because the value of capacitance and none of the resistance is given. That's why we need to assume any one component. So we have assumed here the value of resistance. So resistance is equal to 10 kilo ohm. Already we know that the value of feedback resistance is 10 times of the input resistance. So feedback is 10 into R1 is 10 kilo ohm, so 100 kilo ohm. So CF will be, after some simplification, that one. What is R compensation? R compensation is the parallel combination of R1 and RF. So whenever some question will be given in terms of the design of something, so you need to design that particular circuit only. After calculation of all the parameters, you need to again redesign the circuit and place all the values. Only on that condition then that problem would be completed. Otherwise the problem would be left open. So that would not be completed. So this is all about the integrator circuit. I think the speed was something more for today's lecture, but for the completion of the topic only. But I think everything would be clear to all of you. If any problem, you can give me a message that there is some problem. So again, I can repeat that particular topic for you. So that is all about for the today's lecture. Integrator. Next time we will discuss another topic related to unit number 2 for the today's speech. So as same as the last lecture, we will conduct your quiz at 1 o'clock. So if there is some delay into the third lecture, then you can drop me a message that there is some delay. So after the completion of third lecture, I will distribute the link for the quiz. So thank you so much for today.